and welcome to another speed build. Today is my first attempt at doing something for businesses and hobbies. It's ended up being a shorter video because a lot of the build got cut because what I actually had done is I had built this for my Valentine's Day build. So it was finished complete like about a week before Valentine's Day. And I had built a community lot for like maybe a date night with a photography studio and a hair salon and a little area where they could eat from a food cart and buy flowers from a little flower stall. And when I play tested it, it didn't work quite right. Your sim they could take pictures of other people, but like I wanted it to be more like your sim could go there and get portraits taken. So I decided to just shelf this build for a while and wait for Businesses and Hobbies to come out to see if I could do something with it then, because I didn't want to completely scrap this build. I really liked the way that the building turned out. I thought it was cute. So after Businesses and Hobbies came out, I started working on it again. And we still have the photography studio over on the bottom right. And upstairs above that, I added the little whiteboard and some cameras so they could teach photography classes. The middle part turned into, I used the coffee counter from Businesses and Hobbies. So it turned into like a little coffee shop, bakery, candy shop in the middle. And then over on the left, which was basically just extra indoor seating for the exterior food cart, I divided that in half, and it has a couple tables in there for seating, but the whole back part is the kitchen for the coffee shop, candy, bakery area, and it's even got a cupcake machine in there. So you'll see all of that. Once we get to the interior, it goes very quickly, because I cut out a whole lot of the footage that was just the original build and showed the remodeling of it, because I think it made a little bit more sense to do it that way. I don't know. It still, the whole thing still seems a little funky, a little off, a little disjointed, but hopefully you'll get the idea once we get inside how it's set up and how it's going to function. I did play test this, and I play tested it in that your sims can route, everything works, functions, but I didn't play test the whole business aspect of it. This part here is like your waiting room for the photography studio. And unfortunately, you won't see much of the downstairs photography studio until you get to the screenshots, because I didn't really, you can see a little bit to the right there, I didn't really remodel a whole lot in there. It was pretty functional as is. So that was helpful. And then now we're in the upstairs part where you can teach the photography classes, and that's going to be the entrance to the apartment upstairs. And the apartment upstairs ended up being 2 bedrooms and 2 full baths. The second bedroom is kind of small. I've got a set of bunk beds in there, and it's set up as a kid's room. But you could, any size sim could fit in those bunk beds. So you could potentially have 4 adult sims living in this house and working downstairs. Or I don't know, put your kids to work. Give them something to do. Have them drop out of school. No, don't have them drop out of school. That's bad. Kids should stay in school. But I don't know. This build, I didn't want to lose it, but at the same time, it really frustrated me that I couldn't make it work the way that I wanted it to work in the beginning. But also, on the other hand, I was very thankful that Businesses and Hobbies came out, and I was able to do something with it to make it function, because I was going to have to like completely scrap the whole photography studio idea. And I feel like it works better now as your sim running in the photography studio and taking pictures and portraits of other sims, as opposed to it being like a community lot that's a destination that your sim could go to and hang out for the day. Not saying that, like, it wouldn't work well for that still. You have to tweak it some downstairs. And there's a whole lot of open, empty space in the whole photography studio setup. So it would be really easy to change this to something different. Say you wanted to switch it to a tattoo studio or to a pottery studio or pretty much anything else. You've got plenty of room to redecorate and redesign the whole photography area. And this ended up with a lot of bathrooms. There are 4 bathrooms downstairs, and of course the 2 full bathrooms upstairs. And the bathrooms downstairs, 2 of them even do have the changing table in them. So, the whole family could come and get their portraits taken. You're not going to see it now, but in the screenshots at the end, I do go back in this primary bedroom and add curtains in addition to those bamboo blinds over there on the side, because I don't know, that wall just felt a little naked and I felt like it just needed something else. So there's that. This is the last room in the apartment upstairs, the kids' room. It's really difficult to see because it is a very small room. I did my best to show what I did in there, which really wasn't much. And then I don't think you can see it in the screenshots, but I did go back at the very end and add a laptop out on the table in the kitchen. So speaking of screenshots, we're getting ready to go into those screenshots. If you'd like to download this and play with it, it's on the gallery, as always, under Pixie Dusted. And I thank you so very, very much for joining me today. And I'll see everybody in the next one. Here come the screenshots. Bye, everybody.